Hello, everyone. Oh, where's my camera? Here I am. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Exercise with Exos. Jazzy here, program manager with Exos at Autodesk. And I've got a fun workout plan for us today. So, as we all know, it's the time of year where I do our themed workouts. And it is almost Thanksgiving. So it's our last workout before Thanksgiving for this class, of course. So we're going to be spelling out turkey today. So we're spelling turkey. So we're going to be moving up and down onto the ground and standing. But I'm going to get started with our demos here. So we're going to start off on the ground here. Let me get the mat in camera a little bit better. There we go. All right. So we're going to start off for our T. We're going to do some toe touches. We're going to have our feet straight in the air. We're going to exhale, come up, touch the toes as close as we can, and back down. So we're going to use that core coming up, touch the toes, and exhaling as we come up. So that's going to be our T for turkey. And then after that, we're going to do some V-ups. So we're going to have our feet all the way extended, our arms are overhead, core pressed into the ground, so belly button into the ground. We're going to exhale, come up, touch the toes, and back down. So we're coming up, using the core, exhaling, touching the toes in a different way than we were doing before. So then after that, we're going to go ahead and stand on up. And our next two movements are going to be the same on different legs, but we're spelling turkey. So the R is going to be the reverse lunge, and then we're going to do a knee drive, and that's going to be the K in turkey. So reverse lunge with knee drive, what we're going to do is we're going to stay with one leg in front. We're going to step back with our opposite leg, letting that front knee track right over our second toe, chest over the arch of the front foot. I just swallowed my spit, sorry. And then we're gonna step up, drive the knee up. So we're gonna use that core to drive that knee. So we're gonna act like we've got a plate of glass right here. Break the glass with the knee. So we step back, exhale, drive up. And we're gonna do all of that on one leg. And then we're gonna go ahead and switch over to the other leg. So stepping back, driving up, stepping back, and driving up. So that is gonna be the R and the K. And then after that, we're gonna get on the ground. Last two things are gonna be more upper body focused. So we're gonna start off with some eccentric push-ups. So we're gonna have our hands directly below our shoulders, and we can either be from the knees or from the toes for this, whatever is available. So if we're from the toes, we're gonna keep our belly button tucked, so pelvis, butt to belly button here, and we're gonna go nice and slow down and push yourselves back up. So that is going to be from the knee, from the toes, from the knees. We want still straight line from head, hips, and shoulders, and knees. We're going to come down nice and slow, push back up. So that is going to be our eccentric push-up. And then finally, what we're going to do is we're going to do some bent over IYTs. So we're going to have our feet hip width apart. We're going to push our hips back until our chest is roughly parallel with the ground. We're going to take our hands. We're going to go all the way overhead first. We're going to make an I. And then we're gonna come up, make a Y, and then straight out to the side and make a T. So from the back angle, we'll have an I, and then a Y, and then a T. So we're just gonna start off right above the head and work our way down. So that is gonna be our whole turkey workout today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our warm up here. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the world's greatest stretch, we all know is my favorite. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna interlace our fingers here. We're gonna grab onto one knee. We're gonna pull that knee towards our chest. We're gonna take a nice big deep breath. And we're gonna exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Hands on the inside of the front leg. Keep that back leg nice and straight. We're gonna take a nice big deep inhale. And we're gonna exhale, opening up towards our front leg, gazing past our thumb, looking towards the ceiling. And we're gonna exhale, plant that hand on the outside of our front foot, push ourselves up into our hamstring stretch. So we're getting our chest as close to the knee as we can. We're gonna take a nice big deep breath. And we're gonna exhale, bring the right foot next to the left foot, stand on up. Awesome job, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and do that same thing on the other leg. So we're gonna interlace our fingers, grab onto our left knee, pulling it towards our chest. Nice big deep belly breath. And we're gonna exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Goodness, hands the inside of the front foot. These shoes and the mat don't really mix. Keep that back leg nice and straight. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards the ceiling. So we're opening up towards our front leg, gaze past that thumb. Nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, plant that hand on the outside of our front foot, push ourselves up into the hamstring stretch. Nice big deep breath here. And we're going to exhale, bring the left foot next to the right foot. We're going to stand on up. Awesome. Great job, everyone. All right. Next up here, we're going to open up our chest and shoulders a little bit more, get our body ready for our push-ups. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of planks to pike here. So we can go ahead and make our way onto the ground on our hands and toes into a plank position here. So we're working on the core a little bit. This needs to be turned. All right. And from here, we're going to exhale, push those hips up into that pike or down dog position. So we're poking our head through our shoulders. Bring that stretch through our chest and our shoulders. And we're going to pedal those heels, get a nice calf stretch here. And back to plank. We're going to do that 2 more times. So pushing up into our pike or down dog. And back to plank. And last one, pushing up. Nice big deep breath. And let's go ahead and walk our hands back up to our feet. Get a little extra hamstring stretch in there. Then we're going to go ahead and stand on up. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest or transition time. So you can always use that transition time to grab water, take that little break, and then we'll get right into the next movement. Okay, so we're going to start at the timer. We got our toe touches. So we're going to be on the ground, on our backs. You want to grab weight, feel free to grab some weight so you can have a little bit of weight there, but not needed. We can do this all body weight. So I'm going to do all body weight, but we got toe touches first. 40 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and go. So on our back here, toes, or sorry, I should say feet to the ceiling. Exhale, come up, touch the toes, and back down. So we want to move nice and slow here. Don't want to go too fast. Want to make sure we're moving with the proper intent. So we are using our core muscles here. So we want to engage them. So in order to engage the core, we want to act like someone's either going to punch us in the stomach. We're bracing our core, or we got an apple sitting right here. We're going to crush that apple with our stomach. So that's what we want to do for this one. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job. Next up, we have our V-up. So we're going to have our feet nice and straight. We're going to make sure our belly button is pushed into the floor as hard as we can the whole time. That's going to help us activate that core as well. So we're going to push that belly button into the ground. Arms above head, legs straight out. 3, 2, 1. So we're coming up, exhaling, lifting the legs up, back down. We're coming up, touching those toes, making sure that we're only going down as low as we can without that back coming up. So what I mean by that is if you're lowering your legs down and right here's where you feel your back starts to come off the ground, we don't want to go any further. So we don't want to make it harder on our back. We really want to challenge our core, but we don't have to go all the way down if we're starting to notice that we're not using our core to come back up. It's a really important note there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Go ahead and stand on up. Next up, we have our reverse lunge into our knee drive. So we're going to do that all on one leg. Then we're going to switch over to the other leg. So we're going to step back with one foot, step back up, drive that knee up. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to head step back, making sure that whole foot is on the ground. Step up, drive the knee up. So keeping that core nice and tight. We're breaking that glass with our knees. So we're driving up, making sure we're using that core. We want to make sure that front knee is right over our second toe. Chest is over the arch of our front foot. Breathing through the movement. Heel, big toe, little toe on the ground of that front leg. We want to power up. We're being explosive. Using our hands can also help with that. So if we step back, drive up like we're hammering down. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job. We got that. Same thing coming up on our other leg. So whichever leg you use first. I use my left leg in the front, so now I'm gonna have my right leg in the front. All right, we're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. Step back with the opposite leg. Coming back up. We're powering up with that knee. We want to keep that chest forward a little bit more. So if we're all the way upright, we're going to feel it more in the quads. I want to feel it more in those glutes today. So that's why I want that chest a little bit more forward. Still want that core nice and tight so our back is flat. Breathing as we power up. Working on our balance a little bit today. Great job. Keep pushing. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Way to go, everyone. Next up, we have our eccentric push-ups. So I'm going to be from my knees the whole time. I found that works best for me to engage my chest, but I want you to challenge yourself today. 3, 2, 1. So hands below the shoulders, nice and slow down, power back up. So as we start to lower ourselves, we want to make sure that our hand motion here, we're starting directly out in front. We're coming down, so our hands are ending more underneath the armpits here, and then we're pushing back up. So we want to make sure our elbows aren't straight out. We're keeping those elbows nice and tight. So coming down, nice and slow. Exhaling, powering up. 3, 2, 1. All right. We are ready for our IYTs. And then we got 2 more rounds to go after that. So we're coming up, straight overhead, up like the YMCA, and then out like it's 3, 2, 1. So I'll give you all the head on view first. So we got all the way up overhead. We're gonna make the Y. And then when we come to make the T, I want our pinkies to be facing towards the ceiling and back down. Also really important, want to make sure those shoulder blades are pulled down and together. So we got our orange pinched or the egg cracked between the shoulder blades. Really making sure that those shoulders are staying away from the ears. So as we lift up, the shoulders are moving. We want to keep those pulled down. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job. Round 1 is done. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Wait about 15 seconds. We're going to be laying down on the ground again for our toe touches. So we're going to get ready for that. I'm going to get on the ground here. 3, 2, 1. So try and keep those legs as straight as we can. If they're not very straight, that is okay. That just means maybe we need to attend a few more stretch breaks throughout the week, kind of loosen up those hamstrings. You can also use a foam roller, or if you have like a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball or a baseball laying around at home, that also can help loosen up the hamstrings. Those can get pretty tight. So a couple ways you can help with that. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our V-up. So we're going to be all the way outstretched, coming up, touching those toes. Want to make sure that our belly button is pressed into the ground. So really push the belly button into the ground. It's going to help us activate the core. 3, 2, 1. So legs all the way out. Exhale, come up, straight back down. So like I said last time, making sure that we're keeping that belly button into the ground. The minute we feel our low back start to come up, that means we've gone a little bit too far with our legs. I can always feel when I go down further and I keep that core engaged, really feel like my core is on fire. If any of you all know, I do not like training core. So this is a chore for me to do this. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with that one. We got one more round of core stuff and then we're good. But we're going to stand on up. We got our reverse lunge into that knee drive. So whichever leg you want to start off with, that's where we're going to start. I'm going to start with my left leg, but you can do whatever you'd like. 3, 2, 1. So we're keeping that weight forward, exhaling, driving up. So really pushing the ground away with that whole foot. So we got heel, big toe, little toe, pushing the ground away. It does help if we exhale as we drive that knee up. So it's going to help us be a little bit more explosive. So like I said, we got that plane of glass right here. We're going to break that glass every time with that knee. So we want to be really forceful, driving that knee up to 90 degrees, pushing through, heel, big toe, little toe. Also making sure that our step back is not super wide. We're going to start to feel that in the back leg. 3, 2, 1. So if we step too wide, we're going to start to feel that in the quad of our back leg instead of feeling the movement in the glutes of the front leg. So we want to step a little bit closer than we think we need to for those. All right, we got the other leg coming on up. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to step back the opposite foot. So making sure we're not stepping back too far. So this would be a little bit too far. So if you start to feel that in your back leg, that's how you know, because then the other part too, if your legs are too far apart, you're gonna start to push off with your back leg instead of using that front leg for the movement. So with reverse lunges right now, like our front leg is the main driver of the movement. So we wanna make sure our weight is forward. Great job. Keep pushing, we got a few more in us here. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna get on the ground on our mats. We have eccentric push-ups. And for these two, as we start to get tired, so as we move through our rounds, we wanna push ourselves. We can always just gently lower ourselves towards the ground and get back up however we need to. 3, 2, 1. So we got hands underneath the shoulders. Shoulder blades are pulled back in together. So we're squeezing that orange still. Keep that core nice and tight. Nice job. We're going nice and slow. Just like I don't like training core, I do not like push-ups either. But that's okay. We still do the hard things that we don't like, because that's how we get better at things. And that's how we build mental toughness as well. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job, everyone. Standing on up, we have our IYTs bent over, and then we're gonna do that one more time through, and then we'll get a little bit of cool down going, and then we can get on with the rest of our day. It's fake Friday is what I've been saying all day. 3, 2, 1. So for these, when we're bending over, we want our hips driving backwards. So it's like we are closing a door with our butt. It's like when we go to the store, we're getting the groceries out, and we're like, oh my goodness, I can't close the car door. I'm just gonna close the car door. So that's the movement we wanna make here. If we have our chest coming too far forward, we're gonna feel that in the low back. It's not gonna feel so good. So push those hips back, straight above head. IYT, we're gonna feel this in the shoulders here today. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're doing awesome. It's our turkey workout, last exercise before the big day. All right, we're laying on the ground. Last round, we got toe touches on our backs here. 3, 2, 1. Excellent, coming up, touch the toe. Really trying to reach as close as you can. If you can't reach, it's not a bad thing. That just means we have room to grow, which is always a good thing. I think we all have room to grow, always. Love growing. Way more fun than not doing anything. Great job, everyone. So our last round before we cool down. and get ready for the long weekend. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. All right, next up we have our V-ups. So we're going to be all the way outstretched, arms and legs, working on our core, getting ready for all the food we're going to eat. T-minus 7 days. 3, 2, 1. So push that belly button into the ground, lift the legs up, touch the toes, back down. So you can tell when I'm starting to struggle by the weird noises my throat makes. Ooh, great job. Like I said, sometimes we don't like doing things, but the more we do hard things, the more we're going to get out of it. So our body's going to become stronger. But like I said, we're going to get a little bit more mental toughness. We're going to be able to build that resilience to be able to bounce back when things get tough. So this directly translates to life. 3, 2, 1. Done with core for today. Of course, unless you're doing abs and core later with Quinn. We're gonna go ahead and stand on up. We got our reverse lunges coming up next. So we're gonna alternate stepping back, driving that knee up. 3, 2, 1. So step back. Drive through that heel, big toe, little toe. So our weight evenly distributed, the whole foot. That's gonna give us the best engagement through our legs. Whoops. Got to keep the balance going. Keep looking over. Great job. I love doing reverse lunges. Really is good to develop that power through the legs. Actually did them yesterday in my workout and my legs are really sore today. So love that. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got one more of these. Then we got our 2 upper body exercises. And then we're going to do our cool down. And then we're going to have a great day. We're going to have a great long weekend. Then we get a long weekend next weekend. We're doing great things. 3, 2, 1. So using our other leg, our last lower body movement of the day. Like keeping that core nice and tight. Weight is forward. Really working on that forward weight. Great job. Keep breathing. Like pushing through this. This is our last time doing this. Want to get the most out of this workout. So we're pushing hardest through this last round. Great job. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're ready for our push-ups. So getting onto the ground. So this time, as we've already done this 2 times, and once we've hit that point where we cannot push ourselves anymore, it's not a bad thing. That means we're just going to go nice and slow down, get up however we need to. 3, 2, 1. It's also good to practice that if you want to try going from your toes. So if you've been on your knees the whole time, if you move onto the toes, you lower yourself nice and slow, all the way down, get up however you need to, reset and do it again. So this is one of my favorite progressions to getting better at doing full push-ups. Because we lower ourselves nice and slow, working on that eccentric motion. So the slow lowering is going to activate more muscle fibers. We're going to get a little bit stronger at this movement to be able to do a full push-up. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement of our turkey workout. We got our IYTs. So we're standing back up. And as we move away from fall, away from Thanksgiving, if you have word suggestions, let me know. 3, 2, 1. We're getting into the holiday season. So if you have winter words you want me to try and spell, I know normally it is requested that we don't have any words with any B's in it because we know I'm going to put burpees in there. So maybe we'll skip jingle bells. We'll see. But we got about 3 weeks worth of workouts before the week of rest. So if you have any word suggestions, let me know. I love getting creative this time of year. Go ahead, spice it up a little bit. 3, 2, 1. And that is going to be it for the turkey workout. Nice job, everyone. Go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need it. And we're going to go ahead and make our way onto the ground for our cool down. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to lay on our back. So we're going to lay all the way down on the ground on our back. We're going to stretch out the backs of our hips a little bit from those reverse lunges. So we're going to go ahead and do our figure 4 stretch. So I'm going to take my right ankle, put it right over my left knee. And if that's good tension for you, stay there. If you need a little bit more tension, let's go ahead and interlace those fingers. Grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin, whatever is available and feels best for you. We're going to start to pull that knee towards the chest. We're going to do a few deep breaths here. So we're going to inhale nice and deep in through the nose. Really into the belly. Let that belly expand as wide as we can. And then we're going to exhale, sighing away that tension. Make those exhales longer than our inhales. It's going to help us calm our bodies down. We're going to do one more deep breath here. And once we finish that exhale, we can gently bring that foot back to the ground. And then our right foot. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. So left ankle right above the right knee. And if that feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little bit more tension, let's go ahead and interlace those fingers. Grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin. We're going to pull that knee towards the chest. So just like with the other side, breathe nice and deep in through the nose, really feeling our belly expand because that's going to help us open everything up through our hips, through our low back. We're going to exhale through the mouth, really release all the tension built up through the hips. And let's go ahead and do one more big deep breath here. And on or after that exhale, we can gently bring that foot back to the ground and then our other foot. And last thing we're going to do here, we're going to calm down even a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and roll over onto our hands and knees. And we're going to do child's pose. We're going to do 3 breaths here. So we're going to take our knees a little bit wider than hip width here. We're going to sink those hips back, walk our hands out, forehead, chin, or cheek to the ground. And we're going to breathe nice and deep into the belly. Really relax into the stretch. I want us to imagine that our hips are getting closer to the ground. Our armpits are getting closer to the ground with each exhale. So really let that body sink into the ground. And we got one more breath here. So nice big deep inhale. And once we finish that breath, you are more than welcome to stay in child's pose. Or you can gently come up, return to seated, kneeling, or standing. But that is going to be all the time I have for today's exercise with Exos. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope we had fun with that last turkey workout before Thanksgiving. We do have one more class today. We got abs and core with Quinn today at 4. But other than that, we don't have any classes tomorrow. So enjoy your long weekend and we'll see you all next week. Nice job, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Jazzi. Have a great day.
Thanks,
You
Jazzi.
too. Nice job, everyone.